Hey everybody! So, Steam Up just came in, and I kind of bought this because I thought it was a neat concept. And we'll get to that once I open it and show you the components. But it's a game about dim sum and the 12 Chinese zodiac animals going to a magical restaurant up the mountains and eating this godlike dim sum. And the goal of the game is to eat as many dim sum that score your points. It's simple, it's weird, but I got it because it's a really fun looking game, mainly because this is a gateway game that I kind of go after that I think would be really good to introduce people into board gaming. And the concept is actually fairly cute, so let's get into it. So I remember seeing this on Kickstarter. I think Hot Banana Games is a new company that was just a true startup. So it has this little rotating thing, and you have these dim sum trays, and for you guys that don't know what dim sum is, it's basically like Chinese appetizers or hors d'oeuvres. But they're usually steamed, and they're served in these bamboo trays, and someone goes around and pushes a cart, and it's a la carte. You grab the tray to eat. This one is a little bit different because they threw everything in each basket randomly. And these tokens you use to basically pay for the order of food. So to get a tray, you got to have the right tokens, and then you take the whole basket. But this is a Kickstarter edition, the Deluxe edition. I don't know what the retail edition looks like, but I can guess. Because the Kickstarter stuff is gold. So the dim sum squishies, they're little rubber things that are food shapes. There's 75 of them. The animal boards. The wooden animal scoring markers. The scoreboard. The wooden streamer counter, or steamer counter. The wooden first player marker. The dim sum bag, and the illustrated cardboard insert. And it's recommended for ages 8 and up. Haven't played it yet. Did open up just to make sure that this was something I thought it was before I actually did the video. Read the rules. And it's fairly simple and straightforward. So nice thing is the book is not overly complex. It's not a very long game either. But we have our board. We have our... So these are all the contents that are going to be in retail edition, it looks like. And here's a little bit of history about what dim sum is. I did not know that translated touch the heart. My parents have never said that to me. But we have chashu, little steam buns. Those are delicious. Hagao, one of my favorite Chinese dishes, the shrimp dumplings. If you ever had them, they're kind of translucent. They're made of tapioca and chopped shrimp meat. Perfect. Then we have shumai, the meat dumplings. They're hit or miss depending on what's mixed in. Sticky rice and lotus leaves, or lo mai ga. I forgot what I used to call it, but I used to eat that all the time too. And then phoenix claw, which is basically just chicken feet. So if you're into that, you're into it. If you're not, that's cool. But you can see it's a beautifully illustrated book. Very simple. There are some card mechanics to it, and they really just are kind of like X Factors. But you do have symbology here. It's on all the animal boards. And it's kind of nice that they explain some little like table etiquette stuff, like the number 168. Why is the table 168? Well, and Asians believe in lucky numbers. Chinese, Japanese, Filipinos, Koreans. And it's fairly common that Chinese believe that 8 is a lucky number. And 16 rhymes with continuous. That I didn't know. But that's why the table is 168. So there's some little fun historic facts that are cultural to the Chinese history here. And then the 5 flavors for player markers. That's kind of neat. I've known that from cooking. Chili oil. Then it talks about table etiquette. They're just really nice little tiny like things to add on if you actually care about etiquette and dining and dim sum. I mean, food is food, but you gotta respect other cultures too when you eat with them. It's fairly straightforward. In the back, we have to do a breakdown. There isn't really a glossary or an index, which usually I'd care about, but because the book is so short, I don't think it's going to matter too much, and the rules are not super complicated. So here we have our dim sum table. And the neat thing about this is, so you have these lines here, and that's what breaks up the quadrants. So this is anywhere between 2 and 5 players, and one of the mechanics they've done to differentiate the division is this ring. So you have this ring, that's the 2-player side, the other player side is the 3-player side, and this other ring here is 5-player side, and the other side of that is 4-player. So that's pretty neat. And I'm glad it's not super heavy on cardboard components, even if this is for the retail edition. Then we have our custom bag, which I think is kind of nice. I don't know how to read Chinese, and my Japanese reading is pretty bad, so can't translate that for you guys. I thought that these were neat. So here we have some shumai, little rubber squishies. They even have the traditional dot pattern that's always in the bun, or the wonton. So it's really neat. Comes with these. We have that. So yellow for shumai, green for the lotus rice. Hagao is pink when they're kind of whitish pink. Phoenix claw I've never had, but I've never been a fan of chicken feet. They're red. And then we have pork bun, which is usually a white bun, but you can also see like the pork meat brown, but they have a little indentation that's not filled there. Then we have our wooden first player marker and steam tray marker. This is the chili oil. So these are exclusive stuffs. Of course, we always have our baggies. We have our wooden lucky dice. And one of the interesting things again that they pointed out, again, lucky numbers, good and bad numbers. There is no 4. And this also goes with the Japanese culture. 4 is associated with death, so it's an unlucky number. So they've just done 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, and a blank. So, kind of neat. And from what I looked at, the game designers, they are all Chinese, so it makes sense. Or Chinese American, or Chinese Canadian. I don't remember exactly who made this game. We have these neat little wooden animal pieces. Silkscreen print. Very cute. They also have a score on the back, since the game, if you go around the Steam track, which is this, max points is 35. Yeah, there we go. 35. And if you score over, you just flip your animal token over. So we put a little Steam token, and this so you can see how many players you play with, and it goes along with. And then you have your deck of cards, and these are like X Factors. So, really neat and simple game. Like I said, I think it's developed more for kids and kid-friendly, or just an intro to a little bit more complicated adult games. But here's our retail stuff. Bunch board. Here's another pack of cards. These are the fate cards, I believe, and I can't remember what these were called. And then we have our animal boards. So we have the tiger, who is a seafood lover. And this is a breakdown too. So the first item you get will go to this, and you fill up the rows, and that's how many points you get. There are bonuses for completing rows and columns. And then every icon down here, that is pick up a basket, that is draw a card, rotate, play a card, rotate, spend 2 cards to pick up, or no, that's to pick up a currency token. And then that's to pick up an actual basket. So everyone has it listed down. I believe they are all the same. And then we have your starting resources too. So when you start, the tiger is going to get 2 different food tokens to use to purchase, or contribute towards purchasing, which are these tokens right here. And then he's also going to draw 2 fate cards or fortune cards. I can't remember what they're called. And then you just get points based on that. You also can lose points, or you don't lose points, but you will lose. You can manipulate. There's some weird ways to manipulate items. There's also a thing about having excess. So it's also a tradition in Asian. If you have any leftovers, which is very disrespectful, you get penalized for it too. So you have to kind of score that wisely. Then we have the magician, which is the rabbit. We have the dragon. And they all have different effects and different scoring requirements. Dragon seems really strong, honestly. The rooster, or cock, is the angry customer. The monkey is the naughty kid. And they all have different abilities. We have the gambler, which is the rat, which I think the art's pretty funny about him. We have the speed eater, the horse. Just eat it, apparently. We have the ox, which is grandpa. Of course, the dog being the loyal customers. Dogs are loyal. We have the snake here, which is the meat lover. We have the pig here, who is the food blogger. And we have the goat as the picky eater. So, I thought they were kind of adorable and cute. Like I said, that's the reason I got the game. And these baskets, so the retail one, I believe, does not come with plastic baskets. I think it comes with cardboard? I can't remember. I gotta look at the campaign again. But look at the detail of this little bit. I mean, it'd be amazing if these were made out of bamboo, but that probably would up production like crazy. But just being solid pieces of plastic. And you can stack up to 5 too. I thought they would do a split. But from what I understand, it starts at 3 or 4 on each little carousel. it's just randomly set up with what's in it when you draw. That's pretty much how it works. And you rotate it. So again, you can only buy from your quadrant, and the rings are going to show you that. I will actually show what it looks like completely set up later. Nothing in this little insert. And then we have this special art. I'm surprised that it was packaged that way and not the other way. So that's going to bug me. But it does look very traditional, like Chinese watercolor art, like schools. I remember a lot of toys and the art style books was this way, so I think that's pretty neat. It does have some of the traditional like mountain watercoloring. And we have some detail on the box side. Always appreciated. Never necessary, but small touches like this just make it neat. So pretty happy with that. Alright, so I'll set up the game and show you what the board actually looks like completed. BRB. Well, welcome back, guys. So this is the typical setup of Steam Up. So I did the 3 players to show how the game divides itself in grids. So again, you have these division lines. So when you rotate 90 degrees, you're going to take the tray and rotate it, and everyone should have 2. Now, if one of the division lines goes through, either player can purchase the item, but it's first come, first serve. So it's kind of neat with the rings, like they said. And then if we go over to this 4-player ring, you can see the same thing. If you put it over, and it cuts in half. So that's cut in half here. So it's split. So, or that's a 5. Yeah, that's 5. My bad. I say angry. So that'd be split from here to here. So you only have these 2 choices to go through. And if you flip it on the other side, you have the 4-player, which just splits it the 90 degree, which again, so no one can buy this, but these 2 can share that on that side of the board and that. And then if you go to the 2-player side, so the 2-player side is really interesting because it just turns off half the play area. So on the 2-player ring, you only have these quadrants down here. So right and left. Everything up here is not in play, these 2. So that's the difference in the rings in the system, and that's how it works. It also scores with the 5, but I don't think I can get the whole thing into the shot. But the rings are used for splitting. So you start with a random assortment of dim sum. You start with 2, 3, 2 6 2-piece trays, 6 3-piece trays, and then 4 6-piece trays, as you can see in the set, and it's done randomly. And that's just how it goes. And then it doesn't really matter in play order, it just says pick whatever you guys want, so I don't care. For demo purposes, it's just this. And then you do your actions. So first round, everyone just does their thing, and then you turn it over, and then you do the fate cards. These are like little event cards at the end of a turn. You're going to flip one over. You only deal 18. There's 10 of them, but there is this bonus pack that I have not opened yet. It says the mini expansion, the Fate and Fortune cards. So I haven't opened these yet or packed them up, just because it's not worth it yet. But you have these Fate cards, and like I said, they're associated to the number that you start with. And then there are abilities to draw more. Like down here is to draw 1 and then rotate. Red is to play, I think. Yeah. So we have the breakdown on this, if it's not clear enough. So if it's a green circle with a green arrow, that's a gain. So anything with green arrow, gain. Anything with a red is a play. And then anything with the swerving arrows is rotate. And you can rotate the steamer left or right. And it doesn't matter how you take the action. You take the action before you buy or switch just to manipulate your opponent. So there is some strategy to it, but it's not super harsh. And like I said, I got this mainly because I think it'd be a fun game to play with my nephews. And then purchase steamer. So you pay the cost, which is for this steamer, which is cheap. You have to pay a Shumai token and a Hagao token, and then I would gain 1 point and 1 point, so that'd be at 2 points, and then I move myself up on the track over there. But depending on these cards, how many you're starting, and there's no limit to how many of these fortune cards you have. They're really powerful. They can change. So you can choose one fortune card from your discard pile and replay it. And then you can place this card face up in front of you. Next time you purchase a steamer, gain 1 HP of the discard card. So bonus points. But I do like how the fact they have little symbols in the iconography in the corner to kind of explain what they're doing and what they affect. So really neat. Some of these are manipulating the steamer baskets. So you can't go over 5. But you could have a tower that forces everyone or cuts someone off. And that's kind of cool. There's a lot of sabotage here and screwing over your opponents. And then of course we have our scoreboard. And we have our turn marker. Our turn marker is basically us buying dim sum. So I know it's out of frame right there. So here we have our food tokens, like this Shaolin Ball. And this is basically your currency. And it is on your starting resource how many you get. It did say in the rulebook that you're not, depending on your character, you may get 2 of the same or 1 of 1. And then there's your player marker. So at 5 players, all trays will have to be consumed before we do scoring. At 4 players, 16, 3 and 2, it's 12, and it counts down. And then of course these, each player gains 1 token of their choice. So there's manipulation with these and what they trigger. And then we have, I don't really know why there's 2 piles, because I guess you discard, but you still discard to your own discard pile. And of course, like I said, we have our hardy point tracker, and then you can flip them over when you reach over 35 just to make sure. But that's the basic setup of Steam Up. For what it is, I like it. I don't remember how much I've spent on everything, because, you know, Kickstarter exclusives and whatnot, my memory's not the greatest. But I don't see it being too expensive. And I gotta give credit for actually doing something a little bit different. I know there was a Sushi Boat game that I was kind of interested in, but I was like, I already have Sushi Go. And I felt like that was kind of the same genre. But it offers enough variety. I don't know how in-depth our strategy is. I wouldn't call this a high-tier thinking game. I think it's just a cute little family game, and I think it's actually good for that. So, component-wise, yeah, really cool if it's the Kickstarter stuff. I have no idea what the retail stuff is going to look like, and that's always going to be an issue, because what comes to retail, what comes to Kickstarter are usually 2 different things. I'd also like to thank everyone who actually subscribes to my channel or watches my videos at this point, because I know I'm just some weird dude that just rants on and talks about video or board games all the time. So, thank you for actually watching and staying tuned this far. Other than that, here is the Fortune expansion. This is the mini expansion. Looks like 6 new fake cards. Don't know what they really do that's game breaking, or not even, yeah, 6. But, definitely looks like it has some different triggers, but the artwork's the same. So there's really no way to differentiate that. And then we have our fake cards. Oh, so, side tangent. These are Euro sleeves, but they are very short for Euro cards. Not exactly sure why. The rest is, of course, standard American playing card. But, just a side note if you want to know. Other than that, that's the video. Thank you for watching. If you like what I do, please subscribe to the channel. If you don't like it, please leave me a comment and at least tell me why so I can do some self-improving. And just to remind everyone, I am doing a 2023 giveaway for Marvel United X-Men. There will be a link at the end of the video. So if you haven't seen it, there's also should be a stinger up front in the start of the video. But like I said, I highly suggest you check it out. Other than that, take care, guys.